Hi, my name's Kelly. I'm a CBT therapist and forensic psychologist, and today I want to talk to you about urge surfing. So, urge surfing is a technique that can be used for addictions, for intrusive thoughts, anything where there is a strong urge. And I think with that is that when we experience a really strong emotion or a really strong thought, sometimes we have to feel we have to give in to that urge. But the trick here is first recognizing that urge and then know that there is the urge or the thought will not last forever. Nothing lasts forever. And with urges or really strong emotions, they normally last no longer than 20 to 30 minutes. And the amazing thing is that we can learn how to ride out those urges or urge surf. First of all, it's about becoming more aware of what our urges are or what those thoughts are, and being aware that they're just transient. It's really similar if you imagine a wave in the ocean. It can grow larger, it can feel really strong, but then as a thought or the urge builds up, if we give into it, it can stay there, but we can actually crash it down. That wave isn't going to stay there, but because we give in to the urge, we don't even realise that the wave's actually come down and dissipated as well. So it's about riding it out, and even though it gets up, it will come back down. We just need to learn how to surf the urge instead of either giving into our urge or feeling really kind of giving into those thoughts as well. And know that as those thoughts, those urges will rise and fall. So if we think about our intrusive thoughts or our urges, it works in exactly the same way. And at first, when you do something like this, it may feel that our thoughts or our urges, they're only getting stronger and stronger. But that's because it's building up like that wave. But if we eventually ride them out, we see and we surf them, that we know that they do weaken and they do subside as long as we can ride out that urge or ride out the thought long enough for it to come down. So as I said, 20-30 minutes maximum. So I want to work you through how you can actually start to practice urge surfing, whether this is for yourself or with someone else that you are working with. It's a really straightforward method, and I think one that can be applied to lots of different situations. As I said, we'll be thinking about in intrusive thoughts or urges to do something, but it can be applied to so many different ways. So first of all, it's identifying that urge or identifying the thought. Obviously, the sooner you become aware of that craving or that thought, the easier it will be to overcome. But sometimes that's tricky enough in itself. So it's about recognizing that. And you don't have to fight it. You don't have to pay that much attention. You just have to bring awareness to it. Bring awareness that urge or that thought is there. And then sit back and watch. And this is the key component of urge surfing. So it's not about, as I said, giving into it. It's your awareness. It's about just to sit back and just to watch that thought or that urge go up and down and becoming really, really attuned to it. So we don't have to be sitting forward and alert. We don't have to act. We just have to observe it. Almost like just a scientist observing something under a microscope, that we just sit and observe. And when we are observing, you may want to make a mental note of maybe some of the sensations, so those physical sensations that come up, because they will come up. And that really helps to pinpoint what it is that creates that real strong reaction or that intrusive thought or that experience of that urge. And when we are looking at those sensations, it can be, as I said, the physical sensations, but it also could be mental sensations. And what I mean by that, it could be thought patterns. So maybe, I can't do this, or that I'm having that intrusive thought, so it must be true. So being curious to what is actually running through your head at that moment when you're just simply observing it and you're bringing that awareness. It could even be mental imagery, so playing out past situations or playing out future situations. And the more aware that you become of your experience, the more you are able to understand it, it doesn't become this alien phenomenon. It becomes something that you are quite familiar with and something you understand. And in doing so, the next step is to become aware of any sort of environmental triggers. Often our thoughts or our urges are influenced by certain triggers in our environment. It may be something that someone said, it could be a place that you are, it could be like a yearly event, a birthday or anniversary, it could be watching a certain film or hearing a certain song, or just hearing someone maybe talk about a particular topic. There can be a wide range of triggers, but it's about recognizing them and being mindful of these. That can be really helpful in helping you to be able to surf that urge and better understanding obviously our reaction to it, but also what actually triggers that urge or that thought in the first place, really. So once you've got an understanding of that, it's then about keeping in mind the lesson of the impermanence. And this is a takeaway point from urge surfing, is that nothing lasts forever. Things will come and things will go. Our thoughts and our feelings are never there forever. They're never permanent. And that can feel quite difficult to actually understand, but we've seen that with the waves, that we know that if we show ourselves maybe a little more patience and remember that everything is inherently transient in nature, that can help us to remind us that we are capable and we can urge surf, and it is possible to be able to ride out these cravings, these intrusive thoughts, until they do subside or they inevitably pass. And sometimes that we may want to remind ourselves of that. So it may be helpful to have a mantra that feels true to you. So you could use something like, "This too shall pass," or "Nothing lasts forever." But it can be anything that fits right for you, that accommodates your urge surfing. And sometimes repeating that affirmation or that mantra when you're experiencing it, to remind yourself that you can do that. So I said, "This too shall pass, nothing lasts forever. I can ride out this thought, this desire, this craving." And that will help to maybe replace some of the unhelpful thoughts, such as, "I can't do this intrusive thought, I'm having it means it's true about me." And then so we're replacing those unhelpful thoughts with, as that mantra, that more balanced belief, and that can then create a more stable state of mind. And like everything, we need to practice. So it's about practicing these urge surfers, using them in a variety of situations when we need to learn to surf our urge. And you may choose to situations where the urges or the intrusive thoughts are there, but maybe they're not as strong, and there may be work towards situations where aren't really strong, but we might not be able to work that out that easily. So it's about practicing it and seeing that you can do it. And once you can see you can do it, you're more likely to apply it in different situations. It's going to take a little while to get used to it because it's a new technique, and that's completely fine. But the more you practice it, the easier it'll become, and then you will know that you can surf your urges and you can get through this. Hope you found that helpful. Please feel free to check out my other videos on here, and please like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Take care.